know that in years past, the bass players would have to wait until high school in order to become bass players. Now that we have some of our high school students helping out and mentoring some of our younger students, and hopefully this will be a growing program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For having us.
I'd like to call the meeting to order, the McKeesport Area School District Regular Board Meeting, March 27th, 2013. Let's stand for opening exercises. Pledge the flag, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call on Bert, please.
Mr. Lopretto. Mr. McGlucko.
Here.
Mrs. Gadsden.
Here.
Mr. Halazinski.
Here.
Mr. Holtzman. Mrs. Keller. Here. Mrs. Cassan.
Here.
Mr. Kondrowski.
Here.
Mrs. Maxson.
Here.
7 members present.
All right, as we begin spring break for McKeesport Area School District students, I hope everyone enjoys time with family and friends and returns to school next week rested and ready to begin those final preparations for the end of the school year. Testing and projects are being finalized, and I'm sure that teachers have prepared everyone to be confident and successful. Just a reminder, though, that when it all is done, your education is more than just a number on a state test paper. It's learning, and it's friends, and it's memories, and it's opportunities, and it's discoveries, and so on and so on. Use all that you have to become all that you can possibly be. You will make all of us very proud if you give it your all. No one can ask more of you. In closing, if this week you are marking Passover or Holy Week, we wish you blessings and full hearts. Let's move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Last time we met for a public meeting, we recognized a wrestler, and we also recognized 2. So we brought one of them back today to have a formal recognition. If you had seen me looking on the phone, there's a reason, because the email just sent to me with the accomplishments were on here, and I want to make sure I do this justice. If Kevin Stalter can please come on up. Black reads for exemplary representation of the district throughout the 2012-13 wrestling season. And I want to read a couple things that Kevin has accomplished here. He's a sophomore wrestler from McKeesport Area High School. This past wrestling season, he finished in 3rd place in Section 2 AAA and participated in the WPI Wrestling Championships. Section 2 AAA is arguably one of the most competitive wrestling sections in the state of Pennsylvania. He had an overall record of 19-14 in the 115-pound weight class. Kevin's a straight A student, also a member of the golf team.
He's also my nephew. I'm a little proud of him.
I have two other recognitions we'd like to have this evening for some student athletes. This is the first year that we had our boys as well as girls bowling team, and met with a tremendous amount of success. So with that, I'd like to call up at this point Pete Smarecki and Mariah Crosby. Their plaque reads for exemplary representation of the district throughout the 2012-13 bowling season. If they could stand here, well, I could read a couple of their accomplishments. That'd be wonderful. Hey, Mariah led her team to the WPIBAL Southeast Section Championship and a number 11 overall ranking in Western PA this season as the anchor of the girls' team. She had one of the highest individual averages in all of Western Pennsylvania. She earned first team all-section honors and was second team all-WPIBL. She qualified for the PA State Individual Championship by placing 10th overall at the regional championship. Finished 20th overall in the state tournament. Congratulations, Mariah. That's wonderful. Pete Smarecki led his team to a WPI PIVAL Southeast Section runner-up finish and the number 9 overall ranking in Western Pennsylvania this season. At the regional championships, Pete earned high honors by rolling a 275 game, that's quite impressive, which was the highest individual game in a team tournament. He also had the highest series of any individual in the team competition with a 636 three-game series. Congratulations, Pete and Mariah. Thank you. Not a bad first year, I'll tell you what. Thank you, all three of you. Great job. And everybody else on the bowling team and wrestling team as well. It's been a wonderful season. It's been fun to follow. Thank you. We have a presentation this evening that Mr. Mark Holtzman, high school principal. I see there are many other members of his administrative team here in the audience as well, and some other folks from the high school. I think Mr. Holtzman is going to take about 10 to 15 minutes and speak about some of the things that are happening here within McKeesport Area High School that he would like to share with everybody.
Thank you. Thank you to the school board, Dr. Daywire, all the administrators in central office, for allowing me the opportunity to share some things, the data that's undeniable to the success of our high school. I'm extremely proud of our accomplishments over the last 3 years with myself, my administrative team, and the hardest working faculty there is in public education. So I'd like to share with you a couple of things that will clarify some of the initiatives and concepts. One of the big ones is obviously the dress code initiative. We put that into place at the beginning of the school year. And it was exciting. Unfortunately, this summer, as many of you all know, we had some challenges in our community. We unfortunately lost one of our students to some of the senseless violence in our community, as well as some recent graduates. Going into the school year, everybody wanted to know, well, what's going to happen next? Can you make sure that our children are safe? Can you make sure our school is safe? By all means, the safest in the Mon Valley is what our commitment was. So at that time, we didn't know what we were going into. But we moved into the school year with incredible success. We implemented a dress code policy that in my mind is one of the greatest initiatives that any public school district can implement because, as you'll see, what we've accomplished based on that, as well as the timing of which we implemented. So at this time, I'm going to share with you a couple of things in parallel and make some connections to some building initiatives and some success we've had. Okay, academic improvement. First and foremost, I think that this is a huge piece to the puzzle. We've shown some academic growth. Unfortunately, in some cases, it's been overshadowed by some of the things that the state has done with funding and so on. But as you can see there for yourself, our juniors last year on the 2011-12 PSSA exams, which was the last year for the high school exams, has shown growth in every subgroup and every reporting category. As well as on the Keystone exams were administered here in the fall of the school year, we had comparable results to the baseline data for the state of Pennsylvania. It was extremely encouraging due to the fact everywhere you turn you hear such negativity about failing schools and so on. So as you can see, it's a little difficult to see, but I'll point out a few things. This is the reading side of the PSSA testing, and this is the mathematics side. The top line here is last year, 2012 results, and this is 2011 results. As you can tell, these are all the student groups and subgroups down the side. Overall student performance, so on and so forth as they go down. You can see the top bar has surpassed everything that was done in the previous year. The green means that we met safe harbor and met that little small line, that black line, which is the confidence interval to make AYP or to be approved in that category. So if you look all the way through each of these, although in the mathematics area it's small growth, it's growth. There's growth in every measurable reporting category on the PSSA exam. The IEP special education students did not have 40 or more students in that category, so therefore that particular one was not measured in 2012. But this is so far, this is in my mind academic success and not necessarily was broadcasted in the media. Next slide. This is an example of the Keystone exams and where we compare to the state baseline average. This is McKeesport High School in the fall administration in the white, and in the gray is the state average. Biology is a challenge and a struggle for all school districts, and it does not count towards AYP. Looking at the Algebra 1 in literature, we are comparable and comparable in just about every area as you go down the percentages of student achievement. So So that shows that it's encouraging, that we're moving in a direction and trending in the direction in which we need to go. Okay, students discipline, and this is something that I want to take a step back, because for whatever reason there's a slide missing out of my particular slideshow. And I want to go back to kind of why I'm here. I want to talk to you about what the learning target, or what the target for me this evening is. And that is to show the growth in the readiness and how we merged the dress code with the high school and created that momentum and continue to foster that momentum, as well as creating new trends, where we are, where we're going, where we've been. And this all relates back to today, last month out of publication in Pennsylvania Administrator about the dress code in our district. And it relates back to, they asked, well, show me why it's been successful. Do you have data that proves that the dress code initiative works in public schools? Well, the time that I wrote the article and I was, blessed to have the opportunity to have it published, I didn't have data to kind of give them. So at this point, I started to look at the data here in high school and determined that there's been some tremendous growth, and I think everybody else should share in our celebration and success. But looking at the total number of students disciplined. Now this is the interesting dynamic. 2009 and 10 was prior to my administration, my administrative group, building administration came in 10 and 11. There was 461 total students at the high school disciplined for whatever reason, different reasons and so on. If you look down the list, it declined by 7%, it declined by 6%, it declined by 27%, for a total decrease of 40% in the number of students disciplined at McKeesport High School. And what we did is we tried to, I matched the data, so I did the data as of March 19th of 2010, March 19th of 11, so on and so forth, so that it's comparable. So I didn't look at the data for one full school year and then a partial school year. I compared them equitably so that the data would be accurate. We'll move on to the next one. Okay, administrative interventions. Administrative interventions could be lots of things. Actually, in the Daily News today, with the article promoting this particular presentation, they used the word altercation. By no means are these altercations, not even close. Interventions could be when an assistant principal meets with a student to discuss academics, meets with the student because they are a discipline problem, meets with the student and a parent because they need support, meets with two students that are having a disagreement and you mediate that issue. So all the things that go into documenting what we do every day, I'm going to call an intervention. Sometimes the interventions are, unfortunately, disciplinary, particular discipline assigned to a student, but not in all cases are interventions considered to be discipline. So as you can see, we went from 1,266 interventions at 9-10 to 1,249, just a decline of 1%, to 1,156, a decline of 17%, and now we're currently at 656. And we're talking about almost 1,200 students in the school, the 30% decline, an overall decrease of 48% of students needing interventions or having issues and concerns and things of that nature. That is undeniably evidence that we're moving forward in what we're trying to accomplish. Next one. Okay, discipline and school culture. To build an uninterrupted learning environment, students need to feel safe. Number one priority, and that's my personal opinion, and there's many pieces of literature out there, and the unfortunate tragedy, Sandy Hook Elementary School proves that to all of us. The next piece of it is staff needs to feel supported. And the staff's, our number one priority is to make sure that things that are happening in their classroom, they're comfortable with their environment and what they're accomplishing, and students are comfortable. So looking at the comprehensive supervision model that we implemented at the high school is that we're all in this thing together. We have about 100 teachers, maybe another 40 or 50 support staff, 5 or 6 principals. Those individuals are all responsible for supervising the building. We don't want a teenager or a young person to make a bad decision because nobody's watching. So what we do is when a teacher is not teaching, or not planning, or not doing things as it relates to their instruction, they're assigned a particular area of the building. They have a table, they have a desk, they sit there, and they check students with passes as they come by. They have a planner board. The expectation is for a student to be stopped multiple times between going to where they're coming from to their destination to make sure that everybody's making good decisions. And it's a great way to interact with students, support students, and make the environment and the culture of the school safe for everybody. Next one. I will mention consistency in relationships. Consistency is a huge piece of it. But relationships is even more important. I expect all of the parts of my administrative team as well as the staff to be at events. We're at athletic events, we're at concerts, we're in the cafeteria every lunch period, we're out in the halls during every class change, visibility, interacting with children, not only to be proactive and deter negativity, but we're only there to build relationships so they understand how important it is and that we can make relationships to them and they feel comfortable in our school coming to us when they have a concern or any issues of that nature. So I think relationships is a huge piece to the puzzle of why we had some success. All right, student attendance, which is a unique piece. And I know that looks very complicated, and to be quite honest, it took me quite a bit to get that going. I actually went into a calculus class and got some student feedback to kind of get this going. But needless to say, if you take a look here, this is the total number of days absent of the high school population in school year 2010-2011. There was 1,215 students enrolled in grades 9 through 12. This was the 125th school day on 3/19/2011, so that the data would be accurate. The total was 151,875 potential days. So if all these students had perfect attendance, this is how many days they would have attended. If you divide the number missed by the number attended, you get about 10% as days absent. Okay? If you take that days absent, the total school days that at that point, which was 125, and multiply by the 10%, you come up with an average days missed per student of 12.63. If you subtract that 12.63 from what was missed as an average in 11-12, and I didn't go through the formula again, because Lord knows, follow me if you can, we end up with a significance of 1.06 days. Okay, so what does that mean? A child misses one less day on average. I mean, we have children that have perfect attendance. We have other children that have missed 70 days of school. So on average, we showed improvement. Well, if you take that significant number and divide it back into larger number, it shows an 8.4% increase in student attendance. So it's not that that's not significant, it's how you look at it. So an increase in student attendance, when they talk about a school that has truancy problems and issues of that, we're moving in the right direction. This is a positive trend. So you can look at this little chart here that briefly shows you student attendance has increased by 8.4% since 2010-11 school year. The overall faculty attendance has increased by 6.5% since 2010-2011, which I think is extremely important as well, because people come to work because they're comfortable and they like coming to work. Overall, that's a big picture. Okay, go back to altercations there. So altercations, this could be any major disruption in the school, okay? Major disruption, whether it could be categorized as a physical altercation or just an altercation. Maybe it's an argument or things of that nature. If you look closely at the data here, 3/19/11, there were 40 of these similar type of altercations in 2010-11. In 2011-12, as of that particular date, there went down to 17. And currently, we have 8. So what does that really mean? What that means is it's decreased by 80%, and there's a 5.8% chance that today at school, tomorrow at school, for the remainder of the year, there would possibly be a major disruption in the school day. If I was to tell anybody in this room you had a 95% chance to hit the Powerball, I think everybody in here would like those odds and take those chances. So I think for what it's worth, we're winning right now, proving that this is the direction that we're headed. We have work to do because I want to see 0 right here, but considering the toughness and some of the circumstances and some of the challenges that our students come through our doors with, this is excellent. 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 Okay, so we're talking about creating a new trend. As you can see, very simply, academic performance has improved, attendance has improved, and behavior infractions have obviously decreased and are not an issue. And my question to all of you is, could you imagine if McKeesport High School was trending in another direction? I hope not, but that could easily happen. So the challenges, the work, and all the effort that was put forth by all the staff members that played a crucial part, from the cafeteria staff and the custodians all the way down to the instructors in the classroom and the principals and the leadership of the building, this is a success in my mind, and I thought it was important that everybody got the opportunity to share in that. Excellent. Okay, last piece. So what does it all mean? Well, it means that the dress code, discipline, attendance, instructional strategies, data-driven decisions, using all this data to make decisions in the classroom that support the children of our community. Planning, supervision, visibility, relationships, leadership, and most of all, most important, passion. If you can't see by the way I stand here and present to you, it's passion. People think I shout all the time. I'm not shouting. I'm happy to be home and be a leader of the high school that I attended and be proud to be here. And the biggest picture is I have the best administrative team in the business. We have buy-in and hard work from our entire staff, and we created this new trend. And the education at McKeesport High School, and for all of you that are graduates in this room, the children of this community are getting the same education and the same quality high school experience that they did when you graduated from high school. And I'm very proud to be a part of the high school, and I'm very proud to have the opportunity to stand here and present to you some of our success. Anytime I'll be here at the end of the evening. If you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer those questions. But I appreciate everybody's attention, and have a great holiday.
Thank you, Mr. Holtzman. Nice job.